Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this interview that is being conducted by the Sierra Leone Herald Tribune and the LeoneClub of New Jersey. I am Sheikh Udauda Bangura, editor of the Sierra Leone Herald Tribune of New Jersey, and the producer of this interview is Mr. Amjad Jalomi Ba. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this interview. Tonight, I have members of the Sierra Leone community of New Jersey with me who are going to shed light on this organization that has been established about 3 months ago. On my far left is Mr. Joseph Ngauja, who is the financial secretary of this organization. And on my left-hand side is Mr. Alarazi, Mr. Lamin Alarazi, who happens to be the chairman of this organization. And on my right-hand side here is Mr. Adi Kabisi, who happens to be the Secretary General. And on my far right is Miss Madina Rahman, who happens to be the chair lady of the Parade Committee. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I want us to talk about this organization. I will start by asking Mr. Lamin Alarazi, what is the Sierra Leone community of New Jersey all about? What is it all about? What would you like the public to know about this organization?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Dada Bangura. The Sierra Leone Community Organization of New Jersey started sometime last year. And originally, it was the Fobe Community Foundation that was celebrating the independence of Sierra Leone. But it got to a point wherein we thought it would be best for the community to come together and celebrate as one for the 50th anniversary. So we came together, we had a meeting, and we tried to reach out to the different organizations. Unfortunately, we were able to bring them together, and that leads us to where we are now. And I believe the Secretary General may maybe want to add to that.
Yes, Mr. Kabisi, would you like to shed more light on what this organization has been all about?
Thank you very much, Mr. Dauda Bangura. As the chairman rightly said, this organization started last year on those premises. And precisely on October 8th, we had the first meeting in the chairman's house. And with the patriotism and the nationalism of the members that were called of organizations, we started out with 8 members, and today we have 8 organizations. And today, after 11 meetings, which we've been running fortnightly and now weekly, we do have a homogeneous mix of Sierra Leoneans in New Jersey, which consists of 12 to about 15 organizations that cuts across ethnic lines, social lines, religious affiliation, and political affiliation. So as he rightly said, we formed this organization and one goal to do the celebration of the 50th celebration of our country, Sierra Leone, but also to use it as a catalyst to get the cohesiveness and the network that we do need to make our country prosper. That's what I was saying. Thank you.
In essence, this organization is all about celebrating Sierra Leone's 50th independence anniversary. Now, I will direct the next question to Mr. Ngauja. Now, as stated, we have been celebrating our country's independence since 1961. What makes this particular celebration different from previous celebrations? What is so unique about it?
What I believe is unique is the fact that the venture has become this magnet that attracts every segment of our society in New Jersey and across the United States. What is particularly interesting for me when our Tegloma New Garden State chapter president told us about it, I was drawn to the fact that this is an opportunity for all of us, not only to look at how we interact with each other, but to rally around our flag on this historic event. 50 years of independence is a great achievement. And for us in the diaspora, we needed to show to the people at home that even though we are far away from home, that we have our country at heart. And we are willing to work hard together to make a good representation of what it is that Sierra Leone stands for, culturally, politically, religiously, because we have all segments of our community involved in this venture. And for me, that is the main attraction and its main significance.
Ms. Medina Rahman, can you add to what Mr. Gauja just said?
Yes,
about the uniqueness of this?
It is very unique, Mr. Gauja, because for once, I've been here 30 years, but for once, I see all Sierra Leoneans coming together. We bang heads, but at the end of the day, we find out that we're all still Sierra Leoneans, and we're working towards one common goal to celebrate our country on its 50th independence. So that's the uniqueness about it, and I've never seen us all come together like this. And I don't know if this would ever happen again. I pray that it does happen every year, but this is a great thing.
All right, this next question will be for Mr. Gabisi, who happens to be the Secretary General, right?
Thank you.
Now, there are people who hold the view that why should we celebrate 50 years of independence when, since independence to now, we've seen more of economic misery. Instead of development, we've seen more of underdevelopment. And we've seen educational stagnation in our countries, not only in Sierra Leone, but Africa in general. What is your response to people who hold this view that why celebrate when there have been more problems in our countries since independence?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Dauda. On this note, I mean, people have been coming up. I won't call them pessimists, I won't call them cynics, but they've been coming up to say, why celebrate? What are we celebrating? But if we look to the history of time, there is no nation which have gone through trials. There is no nation who have gone through challenges. And despite what we say, for you to go through a challenge and come out valiant, for you to go through a challenge and get the experience and use the experience, that in itself is a celebration. For you to be a Sierra Leonean, and despite all these challenges you have, you still have that fire burning you, that you know Sierra Leone is your country, and whatever it takes for you to make that turn so that you go to prosperity, that is something to celebrate. They've not killed that. And in the process of celebration, like Mr. Gauja said, let's just look at it as something, it's a jolly thing. But this is a privileged movement where people have decided to make a real U-turn and say now we should rebrand our country. We should look ourselves with more nationalism, with more patriotism. So with that being said, I think that's a strong justification, and we have testimony of it in this our Sierra Leone community of New Jersey, that we are all ready now to move forward. So we take that as a celebration. That's my premises. Thank you very much.
If I may add something to what the Secretary has said. I do not know any place in this whole universe where we have a train on the land. The only place that I know is Sierra Leone. And if we do not participate in celebrating Sierra Leone, what are we going to do? Because at the end of the day, you can go anywhere in the world and make any amount of money. Your belonging is in Sierra Leone. That's the place you have. Nobody can take that away from us. So whether we are not economically as viable as people will think, my question to those people, what have you done? Because it's going to take all of us to make the progress. So if you're a critic standing on the side and you say, why should I celebrate? The question I will ask them, why not?
Ms. Medina Roman, do you have anything to add to what
Yes,
Mr.
I
Daud
really
just said?
do.
Why
really
celebrate?
do. Why celebrate Sierra Leone? We all celebrate, regardless if we're sick or well, we all celebrate our birthdays, one way or the other, big or small. I agree with some of the Sierra Leoneans that say let's not celebrate in a big scale because of what's going on in the country. You know, people don't have food to eat. Some people don't have lights. They don't have water. But we have a lot to celebrate about Sierra Leone. We have gone through war, all kinds of things. But a time like this, if you go to Sierra Leone, you would ask if it's that same country that went through all those trials. So we have a big thing to celebrate and thank God for. And we're not only going to celebrate by dancing or having party or being merry. We're going to have religious prayer services. We're going to have Friday prayer services. We're going to have a church services for all the churches, Sierra Leonean churches. We're going to have a parade, which we've never done before. And the Sierra Leonean community in New Jersey have never done it before. This is the first time. And we're also going to end it by having a dance, a night. So, I mean, we're not doing that elaborate style that we would have loved to, but we're keeping it down, and we're still going to celebrate.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Lamina Rarazi, what do you like to add to this?
Well, as the past speakers have already said, definitely it is unique for us to celebrate the occasion. Aside from the impact it will have, you know, to the people back home, think about the community and where we celebrate it. This is the first time since I've been here for so long. This is the very first time we're bringing the whole Sierra Leonean community together as one. We do have a very diverse community here, you know, different organizations, and as you all know, it was very difficult to bring people together. So, but because of this celebration, we were able to do that. And because of that, I think it is unique in itself, just because of that. And also, this will be an education, you know, for us to reach out to the youth, the young children. At least they have something to look forward to in the future. So if they have to continue from where we left, you know, this at least will bring up something for them in the future also.
If I can add to that, this has brought us together in a way. A lot of us have been here for so long, but I met half of the people that I met during these meetings I never knew lived in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to meet new people, got to know new people, and I will probably know some more after the parade. And you know, we get to know each other, and that has never happened. We would have left this country, gone back. Oh, I lived in New Jersey, I lived in New Jersey, and we never knew each other. But this has brought us together, and I appreciate that.
Without doubt, organizing an event of this magnitude takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of commitment, requires a lot of sacrifice. What are the lessons have you learned in embarking on this very important exercise, organizing people? What are some of the lessons you've learned about
for me,
yourself and the people that you've interacted with over the period that
for me, I've learned a lot, because most of the people that are coming to these meetings, you know, are people that I know. I thought I knew them well, but I didn't. So, you know, doing this all, you know, arranging of things, you know, I came to find out exactly, you know, the diversity of people, you know, and the way some people think. And it is indeed a good lesson for all of us. Because, as I said, you do live with people until you get to close quarters with them. You don't know exactly how people think. You know, for the two political parties that are involved, it has been very challenging for us to diffuse situations amongst them. And but thank God for the, you know, the people, you know, that are involved, who were able to address, you know, most of the issues that came up. So I think it is a unique situation for all of us.
Yes, Mr. Gauja, what lessons would you want to share with us or with your listeners, your audience, regarding the entire exercise?
Actually, I think the challenge when you are putting on an event, organizing people, if you're going to have more than 2 people in one place, you better have a plan. In the beginning, the plan that we had was probably in our heads. And as we went along, we started to realize that we needed to put structures in place. The main structures were in place, but the people who would be the drivers, they were not motivated. And that, I think, is one of the lessons that I draw when you are looking at a community coming together. You need to have a solid plan in motivating the people so that they can buy into what you are seeing. And not everybody can see past their noses. And that doesn't mean that they are not intelligent, but some people are very parochial. So when you organize something as big as this is going to be, it is very, very challenging in terms of putting the organization in place, in terms of putting trustworthy people who, when they say they are going to do something, they will do it. And that's a big challenge. So the organization, I think, has, when I came in, that's what I saw, first of all. And given the fact that in our community, people don't adhere to timeline. And as we move forward, that's going to be one of the biggest challenges we have to face to pull this thing out. But I'm optimistic, because night after night, when we come here, we see people who are volunteering to do things. We see people stepping forward to put their little 2 cents into it. And I think that, for me, has been one of the most enlightening situations. And I believe, in the end, that's going to be the foundation that we will draw upon in moving forward.
Yes, Mr. Galison.
Well, as the 2 speakers have dilated on very salient point, what I like to say is there's a lot of experience that have been drawn out during this process of getting the celebration in place. But one thing I'm very happy about is I see a lot of objectivity. People come from different backgrounds. By the end of the day, we amicably resolve things. And one thing that has been indelible in my mind is that I believe we have a high potential of Sierra Leoneans out here. And this exercise have made that, has justified that we do have rich resources. What we do need to do now is to continue with that network so that we have a very cohesive body that will produce. As we see people coming on voluntarily, and they've been given challenges. However daunted, they've been meeting to the challenges. And when I look, I see a couple of people. I know that with these people, we may butt our heads, but we'll come out valiantly. That's one of the things I see out of it.
Yes, Ms. Madina Rahman, what lessons have you drawn from this entire experience?
Lessons, as Sierra Leoneans, regardless of what happens, at the end of the day, we look out for each other. That's the Sierra Leone I know. That's the Sierra Leonean people I know. But things were changing. But now I see that whatever it is, whatever challenges we face, we come together at the end. I've seen what has happened the last few weeks here. I banged head with my colleagues, same party. I banged head with same culture. But at the end of the day, we pulled it through. That is the lesson I've learned. And if we continue with that and carry that, this is a playground, as I say, and carry that back home, we'll be able to help our country. Thank you.
Now, I know you've put a lot of time and energy in planning for this event. And by every indication, you expect a large turnout of Sierra Leoneans. because if there is not that huge turnout, then the impact of the entire event will diminish. So what is the message you would like to throw out there to your fellow Sierra Leoneans so that we can have this event on a scale that will leave an indelible imprint in this township? So what is the message, or what is the appeal that you would like to make? So I will start, Mr. Lamina Bawazi, the chairman. What message and appeal you like to make to Sierra Leoneans so that we can grace this event in such a way that we will leave a mark in this township?
Well, as I said before, it is the very first time in this area that we're celebrating something this big. We had celebrated on a smaller scale before, so I think it is very important, you know, for the Sierra Leonean community to know that this is their occasion. It is their event. They have to show patriotism, you know, to make sure that this thing comes out good. And we, as the lead people of the organization, we are doing our very best, you know, to make sure that happens. And as I explained earlier on, all the different organizations in the group, you know, are taking upon themselves to reach out to their people in the community to make sure, yes, at least we have the numbers. And it's not just only Franklin Township, we are also reaching out to different communities in New Jersey. So I do believe that we will definitely have the numbers. I do believe that they will show up and patronize their country.
Mr. Gabisi, over to you. What would you like to say?
Well, what I would like to add to this is that people, they have a different perception of Sierra Leoneans. You go to your offices, you go to your workplace, you go to other areas. America here, the people who are here have a different perception of Sierra Leone. So this is an opportunity, so that in addition to the documentary we see, like Blood Diamonds, in addition to the documentary you see about the amputees or the rebel, this is the opportune time all of us out there use it to showcase Sierra Leone and go out and let people see the richness of Sierra Leone in all its diverse form, in its cultural essence and in our history, in all that we do. When we come to the vendor side and the park, they see our food, they see our dresses, they see our products, and above all, they see our magnanimity, our hospitality. Every way, young, old, professional, in any way you can, go out and add to this celebration. So henceforth, the community at large, which embraces diversity, will not have no problem to know Sierra Leone. Despite Sierra Leone is one corner in West Africa, they will not be thinking where is Sierra Leone and mix up us with other African nationality. But this is an opportune time for every Sierra Leonean to do whatever he can to give the positive image that we desire. Thank you very much.
Now, Ms. Marina Roman, since you are the only lady among us here, what special message would you like to send out there to the women regarding this event?
I'm appealing to all the women, all Sierra Leonean women, and friends of Sierra Leone, and their families to come out that day and support Sierra Leone and celebrate Sierra Leone. This is one day you cannot stay away. We all have to come together and celebrate our country. And we don't know if this such a big thing is ever going to happen in New Jersey. The next big one, I don't know when it's going to happen. So this time that you've seen this, come out and celebrate. Bring your families, bring your friends. Anyone you could grab. We're having groups coming from New York, Staten Island, Philadelphia. All of them we've reached out all over to come out and celebrate with us. And the youths are coming. They're coming full swing. We want them to come because we want them to carry on and celebrate after we're gone and know where their heritage and know what's going on in Sierra Leone. They'll see all the cultures that they have not been opportune to see in the past. They'll see other things that we would want them to know about Sierra Leone, and that probably would lead them there to go invest or to go work there or to go live there. We want to showcase Sierra Leone in a positive way. And I appeal to everybody to come out and celebrate with us.
Mr. Joseph Gauja, your last word.
Thank you. What would you say if you are a Sierra Leonean or a son or a daughter of a Sierra Leonean? What would you say on the 27th of April when you have heard what has gone down in Somerset and you were not part of it? So I appeal to you right now. Be a part of it. Come on to the parade. Come on to the dance. Know your people. Know your culture. There is only one Sierra Leone, and you got to be proud of it.
Thank you, Ms. Marina Rahman. Thank you, gentlemen, for graciously consenting to be part of this interview. Thank you on behalf of the producer, Mr. Amjad Jalomi Ba. Thank you.
Thank you.